Imagine being lost in the freezing snowy mountains for 21 days with nothing but a small bag of candy to eat. No shelter, no proper clothes, just endless cold and deep snow surrounding you. How long could you survive? What would you do if you were all alone, facing hunger, freezing nights, and wild dangers? This is the true story of a person trapped in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Struggling to stay alive against impossible odds, every day brought new challenges, from battling the brutal cold to fighting despair. What kept him going when hope seemed lost? Stay tuned as we uncover the incredible journey of survival, courage, and hope in the heart of the snowy wilderness. Don't blink. You won't want to miss a single moment of this unforgettable story. Snowy start. The story begins on a cold winter morning in the snowy mountains. Our main person was excited to explore the beautiful, white landscape. The air was fresh and the snow sparkled under the sunlight. But soon, things started to change. The weather turned harsh and the snow became deeper. Visibility was low and the cold was biting hard. Without realizing, he lost his way. The mountain paths that once seemed clear were now confusing and covered with thick snow. Panic slowly crept in as he tried to find his way back. The snowy forest around him was silent and vast, making him feel very small and alone. He had only one thing with him: some candy. No food, no special gear, just that small bag of candy to keep him going. This was the start of a dangerous and frightening journey, one that would test his will to survive for 21 long days. The snowy mountains, beautiful yet cruel, had trapped him inside their cold arms. Candy only as the cold nights grew longer. The only thing keeping him alive was the small bag of candy he had. With no other food, he had to carefully ration each piece. The sugar gave him quick bursts of energy, but it wasn't enough to keep his strength for long. Hunger and weakness soon took over, making every step harder than the last. He knew candy alone could not sustain him, but it was all he had. Each day, he broke pieces slowly, trying to make it last. The sweet taste was a small comfort in the freezing cold. Sometimes, he would close his eyes and imagine the warm meals he missed. But survival meant more than just candy. He had to find water, stay warm, and avoid dangers like wild animals and falling through ice. The candy was his only hope, but it could not fight the mountain's cold or his growing fear. His mind stayed focused on one thing: enduring until help arrived. This candy was more than food. It was a lifeline in the snowy wilderness, giving him a tiny spark of hope during the darkest days of his struggle. Alone and cold, being alone in the vast snowy mountains was one of the hardest challenges he faced. The silence around him was heavy and sometimes scary. There was no one to talk to, no help nearby, just endless snow and cold air. The nights were the worst. Without shelter, the cold would freeze his bones and make it difficult to sleep. He tried to keep moving to stay warm, but exhaustion often forced him to stop. The loneliness made his mind wander to dark places. Thoughts of giving up came many times, but he fought them off. Remembering his family and friends gave him the strength to keep going. Each breath he took in the cold air was a reminder of how fragile life was out here. The snow that looked so peaceful during the day became a dangerous enemy at night. Alone and cold, he had to find courage inside himself to survive. This mental battle was as tough as the physical one, but he never lost hope that he would find a way out. Survival struggles. Surviving in the snowy mountains was a daily battle. Every day brought new challenges that tested his body and mind. The freezing cold made it hard to move, and the deep snow slowed him down. Sometimes, he slipped or fell, hurting himself, but knowing he had to keep going. Finding water was critical. He melted snow carefully to drink, but this took time and effort. Eating only candy left him weak, and hunger gnawed at him constantly. He had no proper clothes or shelter to protect himself from the bitter wind and heavy snowfall. His body started to feel the effects of the harsh environment.
The road that we were looking.
Frostbite and exhaustion were real threats. Yet, he forced himself to push through pain and fear. Every small success, finding dry wood for a fire or a safe place to rest, gave him hope. Despite the struggles, he learned to listen to nature. Watching the sky for signs of weather changes and staying alert to sounds helped him survive longer. These struggles made him stronger, teaching him important lessons about patience, courage, and endurance. Rescue hopes. After days lost in the snowy mountains, hope of rescue became his lifeline. Even though he was alone, he never stopped believing that someone was looking for him. He listened carefully for distant sounds, voices, helicopters, or any sign of help. Each noise gave him a spark of courage to keep going.
Listen, my wife and baby are out there.
I blurted out everything that had just happened, and this grizzled looking.
He also tried to leave signs for rescuers. Whenever he found a safe spot, he made marks in the snow or arranged branches to create visible signals. These small efforts kept his mind focused on the chance of being saved. Despite the cold and hunger, he reminded himself that rescue teams were out there searching tirelessly. This hope kept him awake during freezing nights and gave him the strength to keep moving, even when his body was weak. Every morning, he watched the horizon, wishing to see rescuers or smoke from a fire. Though the days were tough, the belief that rescue was possible became his strongest weapon against despair. Without hope, survival would have been impossible in the vast, cold wilderness. Lasting strength, even after weeks in the freezing mountains, his strength never fully left him. It was not just physical power but a deeper, lasting strength inside his mind and heart. Every day brought new pain, hunger, and cold, but he kept fighting because he refused to give up. He learned to conserve energy and stay calm. Instead of rushing, he moved carefully, saving his energy for the moments it was most needed. His mind focused on small goals, finding shelter, drinking melted snow, and keeping his spirits alive. This inner strength came from memories of loved ones and the will to live another day. It was hope mixed with stubbornness, a desire to see the sun again and feel warmth on his face. Even when his body was weak, his spirit stayed strong. This lasting strength was what kept him alive during those 21 days in the snow. It was the invisible power that pushed him forward, even when everything around him seemed hopeless. Without this strength, the cold mountain would have claimed him long ago. Found at last after 21 long days lost in the snowy mountains, rescue finally came. Exhausted, weak, and almost out of hope, he was found by a search team who had been tirelessly looking for him. The relief he felt was overwhelming. He had survived the impossible. When the rescuers reached him, they saw the toll the harsh environment had taken. His clothes were torn, his body was covered in frostbite, and he was very weak from hunger and cold. But his spirit had kept him alive. The candy he had rationed so carefully had given him the energy to hold on until help arrived. The rescue team immediately gave him warmth, food, and medical care. Slowly, he started to recover from the physical and mental ordeal. The experience changed him forever, teaching him the true power of hope, endurance, and human strength. Being found was not just the end of his struggle, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where survival stories like his inspire others to never give up, no matter how dark the situation seems. Thank you for watching this incredible story of survival lost in the snowy mountains for 21 days with only candy to eat. What would you do if you faced such impossible conditions? Could you find the strength to survive? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters! If you found this story inspiring, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our real, life survival stories. And don't miss our next video. This 13-year-old girl survived a plane crash in the Amazon alone. Coming soon! Stay strong, stay curious, and remember, hope can keep us alive even in the darkest times. See you in the next video!